either.
It is strange. Perhaps the commissioner was misinformed.
Possible. Let's move on to the main herd.
Look.
A .416 elephant gun.
Illegal hunters?
In this preserve, it couldn't be anything but illegal.
That would account for the reported unrest and raiding. I've seen a single gunshot stampede an entire herd. The commissioner should see this.
We're heading for Ndinga on the double.
No daydreaming, young man. Eyes on the book.
Yes, ma'am. I was just wondering what Dad and Kasim found out about the elephants and took them off in such a hurry.
Well, whatever it is, I'm positive that a careful study of Professor von Flugel's book would have made the trip unnecessary. No man ever knew as much about elephants as von Flugel.
And that story about the elephant burial grounds is really true?
As gospel. Elephants have been going there to die for centuries.
If that's the case, there must be an awful lot of ivory lying around someplace.
A veritable treasure. The first person to discover it will be rich beyond his wildest dreams.
I wonder what it would feel like to be rich.
I wouldn't know, and I'm not likely to.
But supposing you were the one to discover this elephant burial ground, and you became rich beyond your wildest dream, what's the first thing you'd do?
What would I do? I'd retire. I'd buy a place on the Riviera and raise a garden. When I was a little girl, I loved gardening.
Riviera? Oh, where's that?
A heavenly spot on the south coast of France. Thousands of miles from here.
Thousands of miles from here?
4,100 as the crow flies, to be exact.
Mrs. Haddock, does Professor von Flugel's book give any idea of where those burial grounds might be?
Well, yes, as a matter of fact, it contains a map. Look. Right here.
Chapman catfish. This puts it smack in the middle of the elephant preserve, just north of here. Why, that's where Dad and Kasim went this morning.
Is that so?
Sure is. I mean, surely, ma'am. I could take you there with my eyes closed. What do you say?
You mean now?
Sure, we could be there and back before dark.
But your lessons.
I'd say twice as hard tomorrow to make them up.
All right. We'll go.
Swell. I'll pack the lunch and things and get Tamba.
I'll get my hat and smelling salt.
Smelling salt?
That's right. Von Flugel always took smelling salt on safari.
So that's it, eh? Illegal hunters poaching ivory. They're probably still in there. That shell couldn't have been fired later than yesterday, or it'd be corroded by now.
You're right. I wish you'd do me another favor, Jim. Go back there and find these elephant butchers for me, would you?
It'd be a pleasure.
Thanks, old boy. Here. Consider yourself deputized. Incidentally, there's a handsome reward involved.
We'll worry about that later.
If we can do anything at all to help stop this senseless slaughtering of animals, Sub Commissioner, we will be rewarded enough.
Knowing you two, I don't doubt it.
Come on, let's go.
Oh, just a minute, Jim. I nearly forgot this. Came for you in this morning's mail.
Oh, no.
Bad news, Sub?
Oh, yes and no, but see for yourself.
Dear Sir, please disregard our previous letter. Due to a clerical error, your son's grades were accidentally mixed up with those of another student. We are delighted to advise that Skipper's grades are excellent and trust that you will accept our deepest apologies.
Well, that sounds splendid to me. I should say Skipper's to be congratulated.
And apologized to as well. You see, I thought he was low in his grades, so I hired a professional tutor by the name of Mrs. Haddock.
Not Emily Haddock. The woman who thinks so much of that fake, von Flugel?
The same.
noise is made by wild apes.
Dad's afraid of elephants, not apes.
What does that simpering simian know about the jungle? Von Flugel says.
Apes or elephants. We better go carefully, Miss Haddock.
Lead on, young man. Most amazing.
I told you it was elephants.
But they're in water. Von Flugel states specifically that they rarely, if ever, go near it.
He does? But I've seen him in bathing lots of times. What's more, Dad says elephants...
This is no time for your father's tall tales, young man. Let's get on to the burial ground.
Skipper! Skipper! Mrs. Haddock! Oh, Skipper!
He's taken his bow and arrow south in his pack. Tom isn't around either.
I wonder where he could have gone.
On a little nature study hike, perhaps?
Not Mrs. Haddock.
I fear you're right.
Let's look around. Maybe we can pick up their trail. They seem to be headed straight for the elephant preserve.
You don't suppose they've decided to hunt for the elephant burial ground?
Skipper's got more sense than that.
But not Mrs. Haddock.
That's for sure. With those illegal hunters in there, there's no telling what might happen. Come on.
We must be getting near the burial ground. Those elephants look pretty sickly to me.
They do?
Practically on their last legs. Let's trek onward, as Von Flugel says.
Pipe down, Tamba. Stampede every elephant in the preserve. What's the matter with you, Tamba? Holy Toledo. Look, Mrs. Haddock. Look at it.
I am.
Let's take one back to Dad. He and Cassim can come back with us to get the rest.
Take your hands off that ivory. What are you doing here?
I don't see that it's any of your business.
Just answer the question.
Tell him, Mrs. Haddock. We've got nothing to hide.
We were looking for the elephant burial ground, if you must know, and we found it. This ivory is ours by priority.
The old gal's balmy.
Now, see here, my man.
So what's, Auntie? For your information, that ivory belongs to us.
How come?
Never mind. Just beat it out of here, both of you, before you get hurt.
We'll do no such thing. Skipper, stand your ground.
Yes, ma'am. Tamba, run find Jungle Jim.
Jungle Jim?
He's my dad.
Maybe they've got the right idea. I've heard of this Jungle Jim. He's a pal of the commissioner. What about them? We'll take them with us, just in case. Now start moving.
We're staying right here.
Now don't be difficult. We haven't the time.
Better do as they say. Looks like they mean business.
You're making sense, Sonny. Now get.
I warn you, the authorities shall hear of this.
Tamba, where's Skipper?
It's the main herd.
The wind's wrong. Stealing our scent right to them.
Maybe the kid's right. Let's get out of here fast.
It's Dad and Cassim.
It's a stampede. They're coming. 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 They're coming.
of the poacher sub, Jim.
Tamba! Where's Mrs. Haddock?
Behold.
Steal my ivory, will you?
You sure you can't stay with us for a few more days, Mrs. Haddock?
I'm afraid not. Besides, now that we know how well you're doing with your schoolwork, there's no need. There's the riverboat. I'd better hurry.
I'll help you with these, Memsat.
Thank you, Cassie. I'll take this.
All right.
Since you insisted on my keeping all of the reward money for the capture of those terrible men, I want you to have this as a token of my appreciation.
Oh, Miss Haddock, you didn't have to do that.
I know, but in the light of your generosity, I could do no less. Goodbye,
Goodbye.
and good luck.
Goodbye, Mrs. Haddock. Send us a postcard from the Riviera.
I will. Goodbye.